Hey YouTube, Sarah here with Crimson and Wool, and today we are going to be making this cute graduation cap. If you would like to know everything you need to make this cap, you can get the pattern in my Etsy shop. It is one of my dollar deal patterns. It will have everything you need to make this pattern, including pictures, but this tutorial will be a step-by-step tutorial on how to make it. So we have Michael here who is modeling for us, and then I'm going to insert some pictures that will show you the different graduation dolls that I've made with this cap pattern. So go ahead and grab everything you need and let's go ahead and make something cute. Alright, so we're going to start out with a chain 13. I am using a 4mm crochet hook and a worsted weight 4-ply yarn. Alright, this is considered round 1. Working in the second chain from the hook, we're going to work a single crochet, and then we're going to work a single crochet into each stitch all the way down the chain. That is going to give us a total of 12 single crochets for round 1. Alright, so this is what it should look like after round 1. We are going to chain 1 and turn our work, and we're going to work 1 single crochet into each stitch. That will give you a total of 12 stitches for row 2. So we are pretty much going to be repeating this same process all the way until we get to row 12. So just go ahead and continue working, repeating the same process, working a single crochet into each stitch all the way down. For a total of 12 stitches, you're going to chain 1 and turn your work and repeat that all the way until you get to the end of row 12, and I will meet you back to continue. Note that in the last stitch of row 12, we are going to work 3 stitches. So I have come to the end of row 12, and we're going to work 3 stitches into that last stitch. So now we are basically going to create a border. We're going to turn our work and continue working along the side. So you're going to be working a total of 10 stitches. So since this is the corner, just work 10 stitches evenly all the way until you get to the other side. And then when you get to your corner, you're going to work 3 single crochets into the same stitch. And so you'll see I completed that 10. I'm going to work my 3 single crochets into the corner there. I'm going to gradually, or naturally I should say, our work has turned, and we're going to continue working along the other side, working a total of 10 single crochets until we get to the corner, and repeat the process again. Alright, so we've made it to the other side. I worked my 3 single crochets, and now I'm going to work a single crochet into each available space. As you could see here, I am working over that tail end. I always like to pull it just a tad as I work, and we're going to continue working. So once you get to the end here, you are going to work your 3 single crochets into the corner, and you'll notice that we have made it back to the top. We are going to finish off with working in that top section as well, and so this will complete all of the edging. So work your 10 single crochets until you get to the other end. Now we already worked our 3 single crochets when we started, so we will not have to work that again. We will end with a slip stitch, and so I'm going to go ahead and show you that right here. As you could see, we finished up the 10 single crochets, and now we are going to join with a slip stitch right there. So you could go ahead and fasten off. You don't need to leave any not too long of a tail or anything. Grab your tapestry needle and we're gonna weave in our ends. So I like to go ahead and go into that stitch right there and bring it around so that it looks nice and even. And then I'm gonna weave in my tail ends. So I'm gonna bring it through some of these stitches in the back, and then I'm going to pull my tapestry needle through, and then to extra secure it, I'm gonna skip one of the stitches that I just worked and push it through the other side. So that's kind of how I weave in my tail end there. And then you're going to repeat that with this side. So it's already kind of been pulled through because you worked over it. So I'm just going to push it through. I'm going to make sure I skip that first stitch and then push it through just to bring it across to the other side. And then that should secure it nicely. It should be nice and secured, I should say. So this completes the top portion of the cap. This is how it should look. And we're going to go ahead and move on to the bottom. Starting out with a chain of 31, work into the second chain from the hook and work a single crochet into each stitch all along the chain. And that's going to give you a total of 30 stitches for round 1. Once we have reached the end, we are going to work a chain 1, turn your work, and work a single crochet into each stitch. And that will give you a total of 30 stitches for round 2. At the end of round 2, you are going to work your last single crochet, chain 1, and turn. So it's going to be the last row. We're going to work a single crochet into the next 13 stitches. So once we have completed that, we're going to work a half double crochet. So you're going to yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. That's your half double crochet. Now we're going to work a double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, then yarn over, pull through 2 loops, chain 1, and repeat another double crochet into that same stitch. And then we are going to work a half double crochet into the next stitch. So that has created that little point for us. And now we're going to work a single crochet into each of the remaining 13 stitches. Alright, so the bottom part of the cap is complete. You're going to want to leave at least a 12 to 18 inch tail. So I'm going to go ahead and secure that and pull my tail end through. Alright, so we are going to secure everything in place, but first we want to stitch this together. So I'm going to make sure that the right sides are facing, and then I am going to stitch the ends together. You can definitely work in the rounds, like if you're going to make multiple of these and you know how to do that, then you could work in the round and kind of skip this part, but I don't find that it's too difficult or tedious to do. So I just wrap my short tail end to secure those sides together. And then I will go ahead and just weave that in and secure it, and then cut off any excess that is remaining. Alright, so now we can turn it right side out, And then we are going to go ahead and get our tapestry needle, and we're gonna weave that tail end up to the top. So the point is gonna be on the bottom. And so what I like to do is just kind of bring my yarn over through that stitch next to it to kind of even things out. And then I'm just going to use any available stitches to work that long tail up to the top. And what we are going to do now is we're going to hot glue this in place. Now I am very light with the amount of hot glue that I use. This is not to secure it. This is just gonna hold it in place so that when we're stitching around, it's not gonna move. So I'm gonna put this down flat and bring and make sure that my placement is nice and push down on the top and join those together. And so that's the process I've done. So now you could see here that there isn't any like excess glue that is gonna show. Alright, so now we can grab our tapestry needle. Once we feel that everything is dried up, hot glue dries pretty quickly, we are going to stitch this in place. And so if you would like, you could definitely go through the top and the bottom. So basically you push through to the top, bring it around, push through to the bottom, then push it through to the other side here, and back down through the top. So as if you were just stitching it. You could do that for like the first few stitches to make sure everything's secure in place. But I also would like to show you another method that I find is a bit quicker. All right, so what I like to do is push down the banding and then insert my needle through the top portion of the hat and one of the loops on the banding here, and join together like that. And so I'm just kind of grabbing both pieces with the tapestry needle together. So right there at the top, then push through to the bottom, grabbing at least one of the loops right there. And then I just adjust as I see it needs it. So I just move portions of the banding over to make sure everything's nice and flat. And I find that this works up really nicely, and it has a finished clean attachment. So now you could go ahead and weave in your tail end, and then we will move on to the tassel. Using whatever color of choice you would like for the tassel, I wrap the yarn around my hand or 4 fingers 6 times, and then I'm going to cut that in half. And now you're going to need a piece of yarn around 12 inches long, and we're going to use this to tie the tassel. And so we're going to take our strands of yarn and we are going to tie with that extra piece of yarn. We're going to tie a knot. We want to even out that as much as possible. Go ahead and make sure it's nice and even, and then secure your knot. One of the strands of that long piece is going to be used to hang the tassel, and the other piece can be cut, and that should be long enough to tie off the tassel. So that top part where there's going to be that forms the tassel, we're going to use that extra piece to tie off. And so you'll go ahead, I don't even know what it's called. If you know what it's called, leave it in the comments below. But this part of the tassel that helps it look like a tassel, we're going to use that piece and tie that. And so I like to make sure it's nice and tight, and then the tail ends of that is actually going to be part of the tassel. And then you could go ahead and cut to the desired length. All right, so go ahead and grab your tapestry needle, and we're going to secure this tassel. And so what we're going to do here is we're gonna, as much as possible, find the center and then attach the tassel and play around with the length. So make sure that it could go to both sides nice and evenly. And then what we're going to do is stitch it in place. Alright, so at this point I will bring my tail end back up to the top of the cap, and then I'm going to tie a knot and cut off the tail. Now you could cut relatively close because we are actually going to put one more piece. We're going to hot glue over that so it won't show. So to finish off, we are going to work a magic circle, and we're going to work 6 single crochets into that magic circle. If you have difficulty with a magic circle, you could definitely chain 4 and join and then work 6 single crochets into that chain, tie off, and come up with the same process. So I always like to work a magic circle. You are going to join with a slip stitch after you've completed your 6 single crochets, and then go ahead and fasten off. And then what I like to do is take my crochet hook and pull that tail and push it down through to the bottom. That kind of helps make it nice and even. And then I'm going to tie off the tail ends, make them nice and secure, and cut those pretty short because we are going to glue that on top of our cap. If you don't have a hot glue gun or prefer not to use one, definitely leave a tail end so that you could sew it in place. I am going to glue it, so I'm going to apply some glue, and then I am going to put it on top to cover up that and create the last little bit of detail for our cap. And before the hot glue officially dries, I want to make sure that it is in the right placement, making sure that it can reach the front on both sides. And you are all finished. You made your very own graduation cap. I would love to see all the things that you guys make with this graduation cap. Please tag me on Instagram at Crimson Wool. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And don't forget to subscribe to see more content just like this. And as always, I look forward to crocheting with you again next time.